We're at Silver Falls State Park in Oregon.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Linda, and here's what's coming up on this episode of Roaming with Rosie.
This is our final destination after over 2 months of travel. We've traveled from Arizona to the California northern coast, up the Oregon coast, and down the Columbia River Gorge, and finally, Silver Falls State Park, south of Portland, Oregon. We hope you enjoy this last episode of the 18-part series. Our next travel series takes us to southeastern Arizona and New Mexico. So be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified when those episodes start streaming. And now for the finale. Known as the crown jewel of the Oregon State Park system, Silver Falls State Park does not disappoint. Its beauty makes it world famous, and it stands out for any Pacific Northwest visitor as a must-see. Tucked into Oregon's temperate rainforest, it's so visually outstanding that you have to remember to look where you're walking. It's the largest in the state park system, with 9,000 acres of old-growth forest. With its 10 stunning waterfalls and 35 miles of trails, it offers plenty of bike and hiking opportunities, so you can easily choose what fits your style. We parked in the South Falls Historic District. The area includes picnic areas, a lodge, a cafe, a beautiful gift shop, and historical information.
We made it to Silver Falls State Park, and I say made it because we've been camping nearby in a town called Rickrell. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but anyways, Jamie's been really sick and
Got a cold.
He's got a cold, no COVID, no flu, he was tested. But so today's his first day out and our last day in the area. So we got here to Silver Falls. It's gorgeous. We haven't even found the first waterfall yet. Fortunately, at this stop, it was easily a one day at a time campsite we found at the Polk County Fairgrounds. It's been really nice, pretty surrounded by orchards and vineyards, and we'll show you a little bit of that when we get back there. But they allowed us to just, okay, we need another day, okay, we need another day. So that's not too bad.
Oh, it was good.
So we're anxious to see this beautiful state park as much as we can see in one day without doing any strenuous hikes, because I really did drag him out here today. And there it is. Wow. Oh, wow. It's been raining on and off the last few days. We were hoping that it would be good.
The South Falls Loop Trail begins at the lodge. It's the most popular mini hike in the park. It's 1.6 miles with an elevation gain of 249 feet. They call it easy, but anything with an elevation gain like this in such a short span will be a bit steep. It's also often wet, which could be slippery. South Falls itself is 177 feet high.
So we're taking the steep grade down. This is one of the beginnings of the Trail of 10 Falls. Because Jamie's sick, we're not doing the Trail of 10 Falls, although if it was too much for you to do in one day, it looks like you could do half of it on one day and half on another day. So we're just gonna see what we can see from short little walks. This one I see right now. We're the only ones here at the moment. It's a pretty lucky break. Okay, I'm having to bend down to go here under through this cave. Definitely for a tall person, it's going to be difficult. Alright, I got a little clearing here. And here's what I'm looking at so far. Now, before we're almost at the top, we're going across so we can actually be on top of South Falls and look down on it. Certainly a lot of ways to be able to view this. So this is the nature store. It is an awesome store. They have really beautiful stuff in there. I definitely recommend stopping in and seeing what they have, especially they have guides and books in there too. Really nice.
Oh, no, we're going to do the thriller from
Silver Falls State Park so far is really reminding me of Custer State Park. It's like the state park that thinks it's a national park. Pretty impressive. Lots and lots of things to see and do here, as well as the falls.
The building housing the theater was a small garage and was constructed by CCC workers in the 30s and 40s. Rarely are we disappointed by the informational films produced for showing visitors at both national as well as state parks. This theater offers several films that are worth seeing, and they'll tell you the history of the park, as well as current flora and fauna to look for. Civilian Conservation Corps workers built the stone and timber frame South Falls Lodge. It's enlightening to see how much of the Depression-era Living New Deal projects that were started in the 30s and are still in use today, almost 100 years later. These projects got people to work, taught them trades, and put food on the table for hungry families. We had lunch at the South Falls Cafe, which closed in March 2025, but recently reopened with a new vendor. The lodge is small, but it has comfortable seating, much of it original, and a big stone fireplace as well. Within the lodge, there's also an area called Nature's Nook. It's a relaxed spot to look at, with interesting displays on native plants and other specimens. This park has been going through improvements since 2024, and plans for upgrades will continue into 2026. The main campground was closed when we visited last year as they were doing some renovations. They have 48 electric sites and 43 tent sites. They also have 14 cabins, of which 7 are pet-friendly. The reopened campground also offers individual restrooms with private showers, and several are wheelchair accessible. They're adding a new campground, a visitor center, and more. Smith Creek Village towards the south side of the park has been renovated. This area offers cabins, cottages, and even lodging for a larger group. Many of these historic buildings were constructed by the Civilian Conservation Corps during the Great Depression. The newly renovated village also includes Big Leaf Market and Grill. At the time of this video, August 2025, the market was open with grab-and-go food and beverages and a beautiful shop featuring Oregon-made gifts and souvenirs.
The South Falls were really amazing. Jamie got some really cool shots too. It was really cool being able to go behind the waterfall, see it from kind of all sides in the bridge, since we're not doing the Trail of 10 Falls.
The Trail of 10 Falls is the park's signature trail. The entire loop is 8.7 miles with a 500-foot elevation gain and can be started or finished from any of the main trailheads. We weren't able to do the whole thing with Jamie recovering from being sick, but we still managed to fit in a good portion of the park's waterfalls by driving to a few of the areas.
We're just driving to each of the points, and then you can walk, depending on how you feel, you can walk to see each of the other falls. The two main falls, the North Falls and the South Falls, you can drive up to pretty close. The Winter Falls, it's just a short walk to get to the actual Winter Falls, but there's a whole bunch of waterfalls down here, so we might do the whole walk down depending on how Jamie feels. The sun just came back out. It started raining pretty good while we were in the lodge having our lunch. The sun came out and the rain was still coming down, but it seems to have stopped now. It's really pretty. Look at all these leaves. They're fall leaves. Okay, so this is the first puny waterfall we've seen in October. It just rained. Probably wasn't here an hour ago. We parked up by Winter Falls. It's just a short walk down some switchbacks to see Winter Falls. Winter Falls wasn't falling. It's just a trickle. So we saw some people that we saw on one of the first trails at South Falls and asked them if the other falls down here were good, and they said yeah, and they showed us some pictures on their phone. So we're going ahead and making the walk down to the North Falls, and I guess altogether there's 4 more falls down this way. You hear water. The rocks are slippery. Some places it's muddy, so I'm doing a lot of very careful steps. I don't need more stitches on this trip. So you really gotta watch where you're walking here, especially when it's raining. Wow. Wow. All right, let's go under it or behind it. What do you think?
Pretty neat.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Even though you don't feel well?
Yeah, I don't feel good, but it's well worth it.
And then the leaves falling down all over. This is so beautiful. I don't know if you can hear me or if you can hear how loud the waterfall is, And this is the off season. This is when they're not flowing hardly at all compared to how much they do flow at the end of the winter. I can't even imagine. It's just another reason to come back here in a different season. But it's really beautiful. It's really quiet. We were able to get a parking space in a place where there's only like 8 spaces. So that was pretty good. In the summer, I'm gathering you can't do that at all. But it's so pretty to see the fall leaves coming down and the waterfall behind them, and then go behind the waterfall is worth it. Totally worth it. I'm showing you the ground here because it is really uneven and there's a lot of these sharp rocks. I wouldn't say it's hard, but if you don't have good soled shoes and good gripping shoes, I wouldn't recommend it. Poor Jamie. He's been sick for like 3 days, but this was our last chance to come out here, so he came out here. It's weird because you're walking and you start to hear the falls and you wonder where they are. And then you see a viewing point like this and you know they're underneath. Wow. I could hear it. And now I could see it. So supposedly after we pass Drake Falls, it's only 2/10 of a mile to the next 2 falls. And then the rest of the trail goes all the way back to where we began at South Falls. But we won't follow that. We'll turn around and go back to the Middle Falls parking lot. The very jagged ground around here going between the falls on Middle Falls. A lot of rocks that are pretty sharp sticking up. I don't know if that's worse or when they're all smooth and you're going to slide over them in the rain. It all has this carpeting of leaves, which is beautiful. But you got to watch where you're walking, which is hard when you want to look at all the beautiful stuff around here. Got clearing skies again. No rain, just drops from the trees. And this is lower North Falls. Now I could see maybe in the early summer and late spring how this would really flow. There's a couple of smaller little falls down there. Last one on this route. What's that? Last one on this route? Okay. Well, I'm trying to get that second fall up there. So you can see there's 2 here. Now imagine when they're really flowing. There's 2 and they're probably 10 feet wider on each side at least. So by doing this shortcut of driving to Winter Falls, we saw Winter Falls, we saw Twin Falls, we saw Middle North Falls, we saw Double Falls, we saw Drake Falls, and we saw Lower North Falls. So all those within about a mile and a half total walking. So that's another way if you don't have a lot of time or you're not up for an 8-mile hike. And out of that group in the middle of October, this is Middle North Falls. That's the best one. That's the one you can walk behind. On this trail is what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean we're closer to the top. We still gotta walk up to where the car is. Uphill. So we made it back to the top of the Winter Falls trail that led down to the canyon trail. And everybody's gone. Definitely not this way at other times of year like summer and late spring. But middle fall, great time to come. So many photographers out here. It was just a short drive over to the North Falls parking area. It's a bigger lot,
But I'm sure in the busy season, you would be waiting for a parking space over here as well. October was definitely a perfect time to come here and avoid congestion. Okay, so we're on the North Falls Trailhead. We can see the Upper North Falls and the North Falls here. Upper North Falls is that way. This is paved at this point, going under the bridge and then under the road. Jamie's getting a little draggy here, poor thing. So to get the perspective, there's my hand on that leaf. Aren't they huge? Because the campground at Silver Falls was closed for upgrades, we found the perfect last-minute campground at the Polk County Fairgrounds. They're in the small town of Waterfall, about 36 miles from the South Falls parking area. We've stayed at several fairgrounds and recently an equestrian center. They've been fine, some nicer than others, of course, but generally we just need a place to park the RV and have hookups. We don't spend much time hanging around outside the RV. We just like taking our house with us to see the country. For just $40 a night with electric and water, Polk County Fairgrounds was clean, level, and very empty, so we had a pretty view across the farmland. They have a dump station that's free to use one time per stay. You have to ask for the key. Otherwise, it's $10 to dump, whether you're camped there or not. Waterfall's main attraction is the many vineyards and wineries nearby. Conveniently, across the road from the fairgrounds is the Eola Hills Vineyard and Winery. It's actually very beautiful inside and out, and I did a little wine tasting on a drizzly day.
It's really yummy. It's the Chardonnay. I feel like people who say they don't like Chardonnay tend to really enjoy this one.
I don't like Chardonnay and I like this.
Yeah. It's a nice balance for sure.
Usually the Chardonnays that I really like, people who really like Chardonnay don't like those ones.
We do make another one called a butter bomb that is that for other people, for sure.
The building is both rustic and sophisticated at the same time. And obviously it's perfect for many events.
Sweet, smooth flavor.
I like that one better.
Cool, okay. So this is our Lucent White Pinot. It's a style that's becoming more and more popular for the Pinot Grape because the Pinot Grape is a red skin white fruit.
That has a punch of flavor.
Yes.
That's really good. The glass is really pretty too. In these lights, with all the sparkling lights in here.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed several of their wines and did not leave empty-handed. Since this episode brought you beautiful autumn vibes, here's a recipe from the winery to cozy up with. As we get ready to start heading back to the desert,
It's going to be really hard to say goodbye to all these beautiful colors of all the leaves. We timed it just perfect. We're leaving Oregon after tomorrow and heading south. I'm sure we'll see a few more leaf changes, but this is the most spectacular I've ever seen in my life. It's just, you just can't put words to it if you've never seen it before. Definitely, if you come up to Oregon, October is a great time to visit.